Welcome to Vomiting Rainbows. This is episode number 43 with our special guest, Robbie.
Howdy.
On this episode, we're going to give an update from the previous story we talked about, Kenneka. We're going to talk about kebabs and why they make for a bad idea to have revenge over. Then we're going to, speaking of revenge, we talk about a little bit of revenge pooping.
Yeah. My favorite kind of pooping.
Your favorite kind of pooping. And then we have a little bonus story on why the world is flat. And
Getting excited already.
So listen and enjoy. This is Vomiting Rainbows, episode number 43. It's a darker news podcast. Did you know that?
I knew it was pretty dark.
It was. This is where I don't tell my buddy Joe, but I tell my buddy Robbie some stories that he knows nothing about.
I'm the fill-in.
You are. You're second string. And spit some back in a colorful rainbow. You know what we should do?
Huh.
We should do an episode where it's me, you, and Joe. Now that I can have another mic.
Joe and I are just starting our own thing.
Are you?
Yeah, we decided. We've been doing this both for, this will be my second episode.
Right.
So, ready to graduate.
Are you gonna do your own thing?
Yeah.
What is your thing?
It's going to be slurping vomit.
Slurping vomit.
Yeah. So
you guys
vomit the rainbows and we'll slurp it up.
So last week, did you even hear last week's podcast?
Which one was last week?
Last week we talked about the girl who fell asleep in a freezer.
No.
Okay.
No.
So in Chicago last week there was this girl, Kenneka Jenkins, and she went to a party at like a hotel, Crown Plaza Hotel in Chicago.
Okay.
She was with a whole bunch of friends. Her friends lost her, and then her mom got worried. They went to the hotel. The hotel took a long time. Then they finally figured out that this girl had gone into a place of the hotel that was under construction.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they located her, and she had apparently fallen asleep in a freezer and froze to death without knowing.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right. So
I was just trying to make a sandwich.
I was just trying to make a sandwich. All I wanted was a Pepsi. So we're going to do a little update on that.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, it turns out her family reported her missing early that morning around 4 a.m. They didn't get to review the footage. So on Friday night,
like security camera footage.
Yeah. So Friday night into now Saturday morning around 4 a.m., her mom shows up at the hotel and is like, okay. All of her friends have left her behind. There's nothing, like, she's really concerned. And it turns out that you have to report somebody missing, and then they'll let you review the security footage.
Okay.
But they said nothing weird had happened.
Does it have to be 24 hours before you can report somebody missing?
No, they just said a couple of hours.
Okay.
Let like her come, like if she's out until 4 a.m. partying,
right.
It's, we're not going to send out 100,000 police to find it.
Yeah.
So around in the footage, they finally released some of the footage to the media.
Okay.
And she's basically she's stumbling around and staggering around the hallways.
Sure.
Around 3:25 a.m. She's clearly blotto.
Yeah.
She bounces off walls. She grabs onto the stairs. She's trying to look maybe for, it looks like her room or
sure.
an elevator, but she has no idea where she is. The cameras kind of
good friends.
Yeah, good friends. Well,
she'll be fine.
Well, what happened, and I'll get to this later, but what really happened is her friends, she was blotto, they took her to the lobby. She's like, I don't have my phone. They're like, okay, we'll go back to the room and get your phone. So they went up to get the phone. I guess they decided they didn't need to leave anyone with her. And so she then disappeared.
Wandered.
Yeah, by the time they got back. And they're like, well, fuck, now we don't know where she is.
Yeah.
So that would be a little bit of a weird place, I would say, in terms of not going back and trying to locate her in the hotel.
Yeah.
But they said they just didn't find her. Anyway, so at that point, they they don't like locate her or spend time looking for her or anything of that nature. Her mom is freaking out and is trying to get them to look for her. And this is where things I think are going to get really um, kind of challenging because the hotel reviewed the video and they said they didn't see her at all. And then it wasn't until 11 o'clock. So from 4 to 11 p.m.
They didn't. They
4
didn't
a.m.
see her at all. Like they didn't see her with her friends earlier, and they didn't see her friends leave her in the lobby.
Exactly.
So she didn't exist.
According to them,
Sure.
they didn't see anything unusual.
Okay.
Which is so unlikely because I'm guessing around 3:30 a.m. on camera surveillance tapes in a hotel, probably not a lot.
Somebody's on duty, and if she's that wasted that she's like running into things and falling over,
Yeah.
someone's gonna see her before she gets very
somewhere.
far.
So they did see her intoxicated, but they didn't apparently they didn't really review the video. So
Okay.
So finally they released this video, and it turns out that there were all these conspiracy theories that the people in the room that she was with, they posted a Facebook video. And so a lot of people have been analyzing the video because the girl in the Facebook video keeps turning up the music really loud. And they're saying that she's doing that on purpose because some weird shit is going on in the room. Like there's everything from plotting a murder to a rape to seeing things that the girl wasn't supposed to see. Kenneka wasn't supposed to see, so they like dispose of her.
Yeah. How old are these girls?
Like 19 years old, 17. Kenneka's 17.
Yeah.
So in the end, it turns out she was just drunk, wandered around, and it looks like very clearly is alone. And then walks into the freezer and I guess falls asleep because she thinks maybe it's her room.
Right. Or she gets in there and it's pitch black and she like goes in, closes the door, and then is like looking for the light. And if it's cold, it's like then your heart rate slows down and you get sleepy.
But she laid down. She went to lay down.
I mean, yeah.
So, but yeah, she made a big mistake. And there's latches on the other side that are very easy. Both a light switch and a latch inside. She could have clicked the light switch.
Right, but if she's that wasted, there's no like.
She shouldn't have been in there.
No.
So anyway, nonetheless, now.
So that's where you were at last week.
No, that's
the update.
That's the update.
The footage has been released.
The footage has been released and clearly shows her going. So the conspiracy theories about this murder where they like take her down and like shove her in there. Debunked. Pretty much debunked.
Yeah.
Except for there are still people saying that the footage that was released was doctored. And that they show all this stuff apparently, but it's in the same way of being doctored that maybe a UFO would be spotted or something like that. It just, I mean, you're looking at a moment where like her arm will nudge into like a little crevice in a doorway, and they're like, oh, somebody pulled her in there and then like told her to go to the fridge or something.
Yeah.
They're like alluding that these people who have like this huge like murder conspiracy are avoiding all the cameras and somehow still coaxing her to the freezer.
Yeah.
But they have
that seems like a really advanced crime for a bunch of 19-year-olds.
It seems like a very advanced crime for a bunch of 19-year-olds. So I think that the sad truth is that she got drunk, walked down, went into the freezer, and it's an unfortunate accident. The place where I think it will really turn into something more is the fact that I think the hotel is going to have a lot of explaining to do, because if they'd gotten to her when her mom arrived at the hotel and let her look at the video, they would have found her and they probably would have saved her life.
Right.
Because she was there within an hour of her daughter stumbling into the freezer.
When her mom arrived, she knew that her daughter was drunk and like, or
she just knew that her daughter was missing.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I mean, it seems like an odd thing that you would do, that you wouldn't just be a good Samaritan and be like, all right, even, you can't look at it, but we'll review it and see if we can glean some insight as to
yeah,
what happened, and then we'll come back because we have a privacy policy or something like that we can't do it unless they're reported. Whatever it
right,
is, like they have somebody on security detail that could be like, we have a missing person here.
right.
Like, can we just like skim through a couple hours of footage and see what happened and see if there's any.
I guarantee if somebody went missing at Disney World,
Yeah.
they would have like their staff on it.
Yeah.
So I I don't know what their justification was for not letting the mom look at the footage, but then they started getting aggravated with her because she started knocking on hotel room doors, and so they were like, "You need to get off the property." So it's my guess is that it just kept escalating and escalating.
Yeah.
From that, like, I'm freaking out about my daughter, to like, this, we need to uh full on take care of this, like, lady, and get her off our property.
Yeah. Did you ever hear about that story? It's in the dark news
Okay.
realm. But there was a girl, like, similar kind of thing. Like, she was roaming through a hotel, and there was security footage of her, and from the inside of an elevator. You know what I'm talking about?
We actually mentioned this. Her name is Elisa Lamb.
Yeah.
And she was in the Cecil Hotel in
That's
LA.
the Cecil Hotel.
And then she disappeared. And then
They
like a couple days later, they found her in the tank on the top of the building
because the water in
yes.
the building tasted weird.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's disturbing in so many ways.
Which hotel was this?
The Cecil in LA.
Well, that one was at the Cecil. What was her name? Anika?
Yeah, Kenneka.
Kenneka.
So Kenneka was at the I think it's the Crown Plaza at the Chicago O'Hare.
Yeah, crazy.
So yeah. Anyway, she by the way, nice ice chewing.
Oh, my bad.
Do you want some gum?
No, I'm good.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I can.
Just take a moment for you.
There's like got to be somebody out there that's like nails in a chalkboard.
Exactly.
My bad.
But I mean, we just did a.
I'm new here. This is why I don't have my own show already.
Well, baby steps.
Yeah, maybe I'll just call it Ice Chewing.
Ice
with
chewing.
Robbie Percell.
That would be pretty epic.
45 minutes. Of
Just for 45 minutes. Oh, wait, you can have intermissions of just chewing gum.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty good.
Good rap.
Maybe slurp
ice
slurp
with
some soup.
Yeah.
God. So many great things. So yeah.
No more ice for me.
So that was the update. So
wow.
I think there's still going to be a lot of controversy on this because people love a good mystery, and there's so much like fodder for words that were used in the Facebook Live video that was posted.
Yeah.
And then there's now these people who
is that video available?
All the videos are available.
Yeah.
So you can amateur sleuth all over this.
Cool.
And then one girl posted a video where she makes it look like somebody was edited out of the video, but there's no way. Like, you see the real video, and there's no way you could edit someone, or it seems like very challenging to edit someone out.
Yeah.
And it seems like a lot of conspiracy for a hotel staff that seemed like they just didn't really want to spend the time looking through the video.
Right.
So, yeah, that was that. Good times. Bummer.
It's a bummer, man.
Sad story, but it's unfortunately just a sad accident.
But true.
So don't get really drunk.
Okay.
And then, but if you ever have been drunk,
nope.
Have you ever? Never.
Nope.
Not once. No. Have you ever gotten mad at like your cabbie?
I just had a cabbie get mad at somebody else on my way over.
Yes.
No, I'm a pretty chill dude.
All right. Well, this girl Sophie Poynton, she was in the UK.
I don't like her. I'm mad at her.
All right. She is she wanted to be a police officer.
Okay.
I think she was doing like forensics or criminal law or something like that. She was in school. She tried to hand her taxi driver a 10-pound note.
Mm-hmm.
She said she tried to hand it to him. He says she threw it at him, and it was soaked with grease from kebabs that she had just
Ah.
eaten. He said, "No, I don't want this," and get out of my car. She then,
Okay, free ride.
free ride. She apparently ran around his car, opened all the doors, and then he was finally like, "Okay, I think he took her anyway," and took her home.
Yeah.
The next day, she told the police that he had raped her.
Boo.
The reality was not that case.
Sure.
He's a father of 5. He's a devout Muslim. And now he has this rumor that this charge against him that he was held for 6 hours, detained for 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
He came home. His friends would no longer will allow him in his home or in their homes.
Yeah.
Like, he was stripped of his taxi license for 4 weeks and not allowed to drive while this was under investigation. That crime student lied about her rape. She, when she was confronted with her version of events, she said they showed that she had actually not even, like, he took her to exactly where she was supposed to go. She said that he took her to a remote location and all this stuff.
Yeah,
None of this matched any of the events. So she was extremely drunk. And apparently, when confronted with all this information, she broke down and wanted to recant her story and said that it was not how it happened. And it was consensual. She was not raped. Heartbreaking. So this guy's whole life was completely tainted.
Well, can't he countersue for libel?
Oh, I'm sure he can.
Like, just
there's all kinds of civil things that he could probably do, but at this point, he said that he's just completely distraught. He doesn't want to pick up any lone females and fear that this could happen to him again.
Yeah.
Like, it's really, really heartbreaking kind of how this was posed and done to her, or done to him. But I mean, dude, I just can't believe, like, that shit is it's the judge told her, your malicious complaint has done a huge disservice to anyone seeking justice in the police courts.
Totally. I mean, that's always the big one with that, right? It's like a lot of people, their first thing is like, oh, they're just lying to get attention, or they're lying to get money, or whatever.
Right.
And it's like, when cases like this happen,
it's just
more fodder for people to not believe somebody when they do want to speak out, or to prevent people from speaking out because they think that they won't be taken seriously.
Exactly. And that's the same thing that's the thing that's the worst. It's because women's rights have taken such a huge hit over the last year, just with some of the things that have gone on.
Yeah.
And to have somebody do this, this was in the UK.
Sure.
But it was just very unfortunate that this happened. And it's just these kind of stories that bring everything to the forefront.
Yeah.
And then it just sets everything back years. So.
Well, that's nice and upbeat.
Yeah. Do you want to hear, the next story I think will be a lot better because you're going to like this. You're like, you're very active. You're in your shorts. And
you got my active wear on.
You got your active wear on. Are you a runner?
No, I mean, if I do something in an athletic competition that requires me to get from point A to point B.
Right. So if you were to hit,
I'll run, from home plate to first, or I'll run,
but not far, not more than a mile.
I mean, sometimes when I'm feeling gross or I need to, sweat it out.
All right.
But not a big runner.
Not a big runner. But so you're at a field.
Yeah.
And if there's it's like, say you really got to take a dump. And there's no place to take a dump at your sporting event, what would you do?
I mean, if there's nowhere and it was a total emergency, like, I might go try to find something to hide behind.
Right.
And go, or I mean, I don't know.
So
Depends on how much of a like do I have time to go find like a liquor store nearby or something and be like, dude, seriously?
yes.
Like,
Well, and I feel like that's what most people would do.
I'll buy some gum.
Yes. You, if there's an urgent situation,
Right.
you feel like you would go beg somebody somewhere.
Right.
Um,
But it's not like I'd be like, oh, I kind of have to go, so I'm just gonna like drop one down
like in the middle of like the street.
Yeah.
So,
Like, meh.
so the Colorado Springs police are requesting the public's help to find a female jogger that they've deemed the Mad Pooper. No lie. This woman, there's a female jogger who's running around in public just pooping.
While she's running?
No, she's stopping. And she's even bringing like...
Well, that's not as impressive.
Yeah, I know. But she's like doing it like in people's yards, not like hiding behind something. It's really
like over and over again.
Over and over again. So that they're now saying
the mad pooper.
The Mad Pooper. And she's been specifically stopping in front of one family's home. Uh-oh. And this woman's name is Kathy Budd, and she said her children have seen her poop on the sidewalk multiple times, and she's actually gone on to local radio stations and local TV shows to beg her to stop.
Really?
And she put a sign in her yard and has seen the woman pass the sign and still take a poop in her yard.
So I imagine that the Mad Pooper has like a relatively regular schedule of jogging.
Yes.
So couldn't they just post up a cop or something and wait, and then as soon as she goes, but like that's sort of like laughing in the face.
Right.
You just keep doing it. And they're like,
so first of all, the cops say this is extremely abnormal. They have never seen anything like this occur repeatedly. They said that there are plenty of public restrooms right by the path that she's running, so they don't understand why this is happening, but they do feel like it's intentional.
You said that I was really going to like this one. Is because it was about poop? Do you think I have like a scatological like obsession or something? You're going to love this one.
I figured this was just like a direction.
Robbie likes poop.
Well, I figured to like poop more than you would like the lying like crime student.
Yeah. I mean, I can get behind a Mad Pooper.
You can get behind a Mad Pooper?
I mean, not directly behind.
Definitely don't get directly behind. So, have you heard of Deadspin? I assume this. Yeah. So Deadspin says this. They laid out a case and called this a revenge poop. So they say it's revenge pooping.
What'd Kathy Budd do?
She is still like trying to get them. She said she put a sign up, and 15 times yesterday she saw her pass by it. This has occurred over 15 times, but she said one time she passed the sign the other day, whenever this article was written. Mm-hmm. It was like 2 days ago. She still pooped passing the sign. So she's like, this woman is clearly doing this
it on purpose.
She captured the jogger on the video and shared it with the police. So
I mean, she's got to be in great shape.
She's got to be great. I mean, her video is posted everywhere, and now the police have started putting up signs trying to locate her.
Yeah.
And I saw the picture of the person, the girl. She looks relatively easy to identify.
Yeah.
I mean, what the... I can and this is like a mother of like, I think 2 kids. It's not like somebody that would be, it's not like she's a former cop or I don't know, something, sure. A judge that might have done something doesn't.
Well, and what a weird passive aggressive thing. It's just like every couple days, I'm just going to drop a little turd on your sidewalk.
Exactly. The girl has started changing her schedule too.
Oh.
To still poop in front of the house.
What? So, I had a friend that worked. Does Circuit City still exist? Do you remember Circuit City?
I remember it, but I don't think it exists.
So I had a buddy when we were in high school. He worked at Circuit City. And there was a guy that would come into the Circuit City, and go into the bathroom and just shit all and smear it everywhere.
Oh, dude.
And so like he would go in there and he would do it like once a week. Like just go in there
And you can't have
shit and smear it
Yeah.
and then leave. And you'd be like, who did that?
And why?
And why?
Yeah.
Like what's the purpose? Like
and you can't.
The only person that gets stuck with that is like some poor kid.
Yeah.
That's like, really? Like I'm the janitor at a Circuit City. It's supposed to be the easiest janitorial job ever. Like they don't sell food here. There's
But it's not even.
No, you gotta clean shit.
It's not even a janitor. It's usually like one of the register people.
Exactly.
It's like the non-manager because everyone else is like doing grunt work.
Yeah. Luckily, my buddy never had to do it, but he said that they eventually caught him.
Did they?
Yeah, they eventually caught him. They're like, because they were like, oh, that guy always comes in here, and then when we see that guy, then there's poop in the bathroom everywhere. So we know it's that guy. So then they saw him come in and they like called security or whatever, and they're like,
well, they need
to comes out.
They need to get those guys from Circuit City to go to Boulder and catch the mad.
Yeah, I mean that's their specialty clearly.
That's
fecal police.
Fecal police. And so I have a bonus one for you.
Oh, cool.
One that I think it's not dark at all.
Okay.
Nothing about like excrement. No, this one is. I mean, this one's gonna go. We're gonna go into science on this one.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
I like science.
All right. Do you think the Earth is round?
Oh God, are we talking about flat earthers? Oh, I went on a tangent about this recently.
Did you?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
I mean, it's awesome that there's just like this new revelation like of flat earthers that are like.
But I wonder, do they think the world is like only flat and then there's like a little lip on it and then it goes to the other side?
Yeah.
I mean,
yes.
Do they have a distance of the lip?
I don't know.
Because if it's completely flat, then that drilling to China thing would be super easy.
Well, yeah, except I think directly. I guess it depends on how the flat Earth is sliced out. Like it wouldn't be able to be like a standard shape, right?
Right.
Because the edge would be through the middle of a continent somewhere.
Yeah, but the other thing too is
to be like all curved around the continent and then water.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And
then gravity is holding everything together. And
like
is there something on the edge? Like, does it wrap?
I would love to talk to one of these people who actually believe it because it's just so bananas.
So
I mean, it's like I mean, it has to be a certain level of thickness. And then what is causing like things to heat up in the bottom of the ocean?
They have explanations for all this stuff.
But like a volcano? Is that like, I mean, how far does it go through the flat Earth to heat up to like?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, there are.
Or is there a dark side of the Earth?
We don't know. Yeah, I mean, there are some like geological or geographical anomalies with the way that we view the round Earth, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Like proportionally and stuff, like the globe that we're all used to is not exactly this and that. Like, things aren't shaped exactly. It's a pretty damn good representation, but like it's not exactly the way that we're used to seeing it. But at least it generally like makes sense. It's like we have the poles, we have gravity, we have the moon pulling the thing, like
the darkness
as
and
crazy
the lightness,
as it is, yeah,
the day night thing. That seems to work all right.
Yeah,
it just couldn't.
But granted, it's like, remember like cartoons back in the day where you'd see the sun rise and set, and it would be like, like if you were flat, like you would see it rise and set the way that you see it in a cartoon, where it's just a flat plane horizon. Right. Or you could be obstructed by mountains and things like that. So I mean, I don't know. I met someone, and this topic came up. Because she was like, oh yeah, like I can't take my husband anywhere, like he's not very social, blah blah blah. And she was like, she's like, he's into this really weird thing, and I'm like, my head immediately was like, he's into weird sex shit. What's he into? Tell me more. And
then you're like trying to get him to go into scat because that's just
yeah, and I was like, I hope it's poop. But so she eventually was like, he's a flat earthist, and he's in a group and he fucking goes, and there's like a flat earthist like Facebook group where they all talk about it and blah 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 blah.
Well, because
And
there
she was
can't
like,
be
and
enough of them, and like this couldn't be San Francisco.
well, and she was like, I was super embarrassed about it, and so like I didn't tell anyone, and like I didn't want to introduce him to my friends after a while when he became this flat earthist, and he was going to these groups and stuff. She's like, but then he started explaining it to me, and like it actually does make sense, and I was like, they got another one. Like, what the fuck? Like Kyrie Irving from the Cavs, well, previously the Cavs. He came out on like a sports talk show. They're like, blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh yeah, the Earth's totally flat. And everyone's like, ha 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 ha. He's like, no, really,
Oh god,
Earth's totally flat.
That's...
And you're like, I don't know if you're qualified to
Yeah.
make that sort of projection, but there's more and more people coming out about it. And I don't understand what the purpose is. Like it's sort of one of those like conspiracy theories that doesn't benefit anybody.
Well, I mean, why can't they just go to the edge of the flat Earth and show that it's like take a picture of looking over the flat side?
Yeah, I mean, have you ever been on a plane and flown
to
Europe?
Yeah, you would
have gone off the edge, or maybe like its perspective. You're like, but no, like you would see an edge at some point. Like, doesn't make any sense. And they have like whole theories about like doctored photos from space. And I'm like, this is just one of those conspiracy theories. Like, A is too large. You know, it's kind of like the pagans buried dinosaur bones to disprove God, or like whatever that theory is. And you're just like, what a really extreme thing to do.
Again,
for why would you do? Why was that the consensus plan? And whoever knew about that shit, like, just no one broke that secret.
But look at this one small event, the tragic event of Kenneka.
Yeah.
You know, not something that would be that you would think would have a major conspiracy. One video is released showing her basically walking through the kitchen alone.
Yeah.
And now you already have conspiracy people saying that they've removed people from the video.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, there are people who love a good conspiracy.
I just like, if I was gonna go with a conspiracy, I would like go with like one that makes sense, or I don't know. I just feel like when people make stuff up like that, it is for the purpose of directly benefiting somebody.
Right.
And to the extent of my knowledge, I don't believe that there's like a flat Earth society, like Scientology, for instance, right?
Right.
It's like, this is like way out there, and aliens and things like that. And you're like, well, how does that benefit anybody? And you're like, because the church makes tons of money.
Right.
So that, like, direct line, like, show me the money, and you can find out why it makes sense. But with like a flat earthist, or like, you know, you could see why there might be conspiracy. Well, maybe not direct conspiracy theories about Kenneka or whatever, but killing her could have benefited somebody, and we're trying to figure out if it benefited somebody. Because if you find the money, or you find the benefit, then you can piece it back together. But flat Earth.
Yeah, back to the flat Earth.
Who wins it?
The YouTuber D Marble has gone. He's gone viral, and he said he has proved without a shadow of a doubt that the Earth is indeed a pancake and not a globe. And how he did this was he used a construction level, and he put it on his seat when he flew from North Carolina to Seattle. And he filmed it the entire time with a clock in the background and the horizon out the window, so that you could see that the bubble did not move as it should have if the Earth were round.
That's not how levels work.
Well, the thing is that, as we know, the bubble would be moving at such a small pace, and it's obviously the plane flies level.
Yeah. The plane's flying 240 miles an hour, maybe 210 miles an hour.
No, the plane's flying like 800 miles an hour. It's also flying at around 40 to 60,000 feet.
Sure.
So it's pretty high up in the air.
But if you have it sitting on the seat, then all it's telling you is whether the seat is level or not.
Well, in the air.
And basically the plane. So if the plane dips or the plane goes up and down, then the seat is connected to and relative to the plane,
Right.
and it has nothing to do with the Earth.
Right, but a plane could fly like in slow flight across the U.S.
Yeah.
and be tilted with the nose up the entire way.
Right.
It would be going really slow, but it could fly like that the entire way across the U.S. And then that would be, according to his theory, that that the world just continuously like an elevator that goes constantly up a huge mountain.
So the Earth is like.
No, I'm not coming up with a new theory. I'm just saying, like, there, according to his theory, whatever direction the plane.
Are you a quarter pipe Earthist?
Quarter pipe Earthist. Yeah, I feel like he needs to work on his math and exactly how curvature would work.
Yeah,
because the way he was thinking is that if it flies at a certain altitude all the way across the Earth, then the Earth must be flat. Otherwise, you'd be continually going into space. Like at some point.
Yeah.
It doesn't. There's no sense behind it.
I hope that trip was not specifically for that, and that he had actually like plans to get wherever he was arriving.
Well, let's hope that he wasn't going to like even see the eclipse or anything, because that would blow his mind.
Yeah. So yeah, it's mind boggling to me. I kind of want to read more into it, but
we have to do like just a summary episode on this where we explain and debunk like an anti-flat Earth episode.
I mean, this girl that I met, she was like, I thought he was crazy. I was totally embarrassed.
Does she live here?
Like, yeah.
Can we get her on the show and have her explain it?
I don't know her that well, but I mean, I can ask. It's a friend of my girlfriend's.
Or we could ask like the guy to come on the show and explain it to us.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that would be.
I just feel, I
feel like everybody should write in and tell us if we just bored the shit out of them, and maybe we should.
Thumbs down.
Yeah, thumbs up, thumbs down on that. But I'd love to have like all of us just like talk flat Earth for a minute.
Yeah,
flat Earth, round Earth.
I just don't understand. I guess I'm gonna circle it back around and finalize that with that. I just don't understand who that benefits. Like, why?
No.
Why is it important that the Earth not be round to you to the point that you're gonna?
Well, she's all about science.
Elaborate conspiracies as to like who back in the day, the Galileos were like, oh, the Earth is round, and that helps anything,
right?
Other than understand where we live, and then hundreds and hundreds of years go by, and people are like, yeah, consensus, like. Now that we have telescopes, we've actually gone to space and like landed on Earth and flown around it and orbited and done all of these things. Like, we're 100% like it was just no longer a question. Like, it's never been a question. And then out of the blue, people are like, they've been lying to us all along. And I'm like, every single person that's ever studied space has lied for some reason.
Like even
that it's round,
right? Or like let's just take for example Elon Musk and SpaceX. Like,
yeah.
Is he part of this grand conspiracy?
I mean, Elon Musk is an interesting dude.
He's a character.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think he's like trying to like spend his whole fortune to be a part of the flat Earth conspiracy. Yeah,
just for the sake of. Yeah, maybe sometimes people are just like, I'm just gonna lie so that I can have a different opinion and feel unique. Right. Maybe that's the psychology. Maybe that's what we've learned.
All right. Well, anyway, so. If you're really bored one day, watch the Flat Earthers video. He explains the whole thing.
Okay.
It's pretty, it's I would say ridiculous, but that's me.
I mean, truth be told, I've never gone to space, so I have no personal investment in the round Earth. I mean, fuck it.
Who knows?
Let's take the flat Earth. Why not?
You're in on this now.
Yeah. It seems fine. It doesn't we don't lose anything if it is like.
Well, next time you go to Australia, let me know if you just fall off the edge.
Okay, right. I will.
Where is the edge? Do we know?
I don't know.
You got to find out.
Yeah. All right. We'll come back with more info on flat Earth.
Okay, so this was vomiting rainbows. Please look us up, review us. You'll find us on all social media as We Vomit Rainbows on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud. Thanks for listening. Give us your comments at contact at Vomiting Rainbows. And let us know if you want to hear a whole episode. Not a whole episode. We do like 15 minutes on Flat Earth.
Flat Earth.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And don't poop on my lawn.
Don't poop on anyone's lawn.